In this video, I'm going to show how I tape an inside corner to get it ready for the next coat. Like I said in the first video, I use paper tape for that. It is the best one to use. It actually folds in nice and tight into the corner, and that's really what you want. You can use the fiber tape in here, but I've often found that it kind of rounds out the corner a bit too much. So for the paper tape is actually cheaper too, so it's a better choice. What I do is I just roughly measure it by running it up the wall and then down, and then I cut it off roughly like this. No need to use scissors or anything like that. It doesn't have to be that neat. Then I'll take it and I'll fold it over all the way through. And the way to fold it is there's a little dimple in the middle there, and you'll see that and you'll go against that. So I'll just double check it here to make sure it's the right length. It looks like it's a little bit too long. So I'll just tear that off. Next up, I've got some mud on my trowel here that I'm using as a hock in this situation. Just going to take my knife and make sure that there's nothing up here in the corner to get in the way. And take a little bit on one side of my knife and then lay that on fairly thin. Although there's nothing to worry about if it's going on a bit thicker. This is something that does take some practice to get good at. And I take it on the other side of my knife and do the other side of the corner. Then I can get my paper tape and lay it right into the corner, like so. And then lightly push it in, the first stroke, and then I'm going to push it up like this. So I'm not actually pulling the ends of the paper tape down, and then apply a lot more pressure in the next few strokes. That's to pull out all of the excess mud that's in there. You don't want to have a whole lot of mud behind the tape. You just want enough in there to glue it in place. In the lower half, I'm just going to pull my tape up, stick it up on top of my head like that so it's out of the way. I can lay on some more compound so that I can finish it off. And then once again, I can push the paper tape in, make sure it's right in the corner, and then screed out the extra. Now that the tape is fully embedded in the corner, I can load up my trowel again, and I'm going to lay a thin coat on top of one side of this corner with my 4-inch knife. I'm going to load up one side so there's more compound on this side of my knife. So it pushes more in towards the corner. And then when I'm pulling it down, I'm putting more pressure on this edge here so that it feathers it out. This does not have to be perfect because you'll be going over it again, but it is important to get it on there thick enough to cover the tape. After the whole corner is done, I like to take my knife and reach up right from the top and come right down as far as I can go to the bottom, and then come up and overlap that. And that smooths everything out. You want this as smooth as you possibly can get it. Like I say, this does take practice, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. Now that that corner is done, I'm going to wait until it's fully dry before I do anything else with it. The next step would be to put a coat on the opposite corner, and that will take the corner, the inside corner, to about 80% of where it needs to be if you're careful doing these first two coats. As I work my way around the room, I hit the nails or the screws, I put the compound on, press it in, and then I screed it all off. I don't leave anything behind other than what goes in the screw. Now if I see that a screw is ghosting through like that, I'll take my driver and torque it in a little bit so that I got a minimum of compound on top of that so that I can't see the screw. In general, it will take about 3 coats on top of the screws to completely cover them, and you really won't have to do any sanding as long as you're careful and don't put on excess. I'll do the next corner from beginning to end to show that again.